prevent what you're doing proper now and stay with me till the very quit of this replace due to the fact what we're about to talk approximately today might be one of the maximum vital moments Iraqi Dinar holders have ever experienced. This is not hype. This isn't always guessing, and this isn't always net noise. State of the art. Update marks the extreme shift in the overmanner that Dinar holders around the arena have been watching for years. Many human beings gave up. Many lost patience, and lots have stopped believing whatever could ever change. However, now something distinctive has occurred. A vital milestone has been reached, and it modifications how this whole situation need to be viewed going forward. If you are conserving Iraqi dinar, whether a small quantity or a massive amount, this update at once affects how you prepare, how you observed, and how you position yourself for what can also come next. This is not approximately panic or speeding. This is about expertise, what a first-rate approval milestone method, why it matters, and why the timing from this factor forward merits critical interest. Stay centered, because by the end of this video, you will virtually apprehend why this second stands aside from the whole lot that got here before it. For years, the Iraqi dinar tale has been surrounded by confusion, delays, emotional swings, and endless speculation. Many holders had been pressured to depend upon online share, unofficial remark, and repeated guarantees that in no way materialized. That environment created frustration and fatigue, mainly for individuals who held their dinar patiently, whilst looking timelines come and pass. What makes nowadays different isn't always excitement, however, structure. Treasury stage approval milestone indicators that systems are now not theoretical. It indicates that tactics have been reviewed, compliance standards were addressed, and mechanisms are aligned for a future economic motion. This is not similar to a fee alternate statement, and it does no longer mean exchanges manifest instantly. What it does mean is that a critical gate has been passed. Without this step, not anything significant may want to ever move forward. With it, the verbal exchange shifts from if to when. That shift on my own is powerful. It reframes the complete dinar dialogue into something some distance more grounded and procedural in place of emotional or speculative. Understanding this difference is essential for every holder right now. Whilst people pay attention the word approval, they regularly misunderstand what that truly entails. This isn't always a public press release meant to excite buyers. It's miles and inner validation that structures, controls, and regulatory readiness are aligned. That includes banking readiness, compliance exams, verification standards, and economic infrastructure coordination. Without these factors in region, a revaluation system can't move ahead in a felony, relaxed and organized manner. Approval at this level signals that those portions are no longer obstacles. It suggests that institutions worried in handling currency exchanges are technically prepared to apprehend a brand new value when it is formally activated. This does not trigger on-the-spot movement, but it does do away with uncertainty about whether the procedure itself is possible. That difference subjects more than hype ever should. This milestone represents readiness, now not rumor. For holders who've waited for tangible development rather than wards, this is the type of development that clearly counts. One of the maximum, not unusual questions proper now is whether this means holders can trade their dinar nowadays or the following day. The honest answer is no, no longer right now. Approval isn't always activation. Approval is the sign that the release series can proceed whilst final authorization is given. Think of it like a spacecraft on the launch pad. Fuel is loaded, structures are checked, crews are equipped. However, the countdown has now not reached zero, but that is nevertheless a main advancement, as compared to sitting in a hangar with unfinished elements. From this factor ahead, moves occur faster. Coordination tightens and readiness becomes the focus. Banks do now not put together in a single day. They prepare due to the fact they're informed to be ready. That coaching only comes after approvals like this. This is why experienced observers pay close attention to milestones as opposed to dates. Dates exchange. Infrastructure does not circulate until permission exists. That permission is what makes this second one of a kind. Safety and legitimacy are another predominant purpose this milestone topics. When foreign money events arise without proper oversight, risk will increase for each person concerned. Scams flourish, misinformation spreads, and holders come to be vulnerable. A Treasury degree approval enables close that door. It guarantees that any future exchange method is regulated, verified, and handled via legal establishments that protects holders. legally and financially. It additionally method that shortcuts, personal offers, or special access claims need to be omitted completely. Valid financial methods do now not operate in secret or through social media messages. They perform through structures. This approval reinforces that fact. Holders must view this as reassurance, not an invitation to rush. Secure results come from endurance blended with preparation, not emotion. The more reliable the procedure becomes, the much less room there's for fraud. That on my own is a primary win for severe holders. Coaching now will become the most crucial responsibility for everybody keeping Dinar. That does not suggest promoting, buying, or making surprising moves. The way organizing, securing, and expertise. Physical forex must be saved properly and stored in excellent situation. Documentation of holdings ought to be accurate and clean to access. Identity ought to be modern day. Banking relationships should be clear. Understanding which establishments manage foreign forex exchanges is critical. None of these steps are complicated. However, they often overlooked until the last minute. This milestone is a reminder that readiness topics more than pleasure. While legitimate activation occurs, individuals who are organized will flow lightly and successfully. People who are not will experience compelled and confused. The distinction between those two experiences may be full size. Coaching is not optionally available anymore. It's far part of being an accountable holder at this degree. Any other important aspect that holders should recognize proper now is timing. Timing does now not imply guessing dates or being attentive to countdown clocks. Timing way spotting stages. The Iraqi Dinar system has constantly moved in tiers. No longer sudden jumps. For a long time, the method changed into caught in guidance and negotiation. That phase lasted years. What makes this moment critical is that the method has now absolutely entered a readiness segment. Systems being accredited approach the verbal exchange has moved past. Can this be performed to whilst will it be activated? That shift changes how establishments behave backstage. Banks teach staff. Compliance teams put together verification methods. Technology systems get updated to deal with charge modifications. None of this occurs for entertainment or hypothesis. It happens due to the fact future movement is expected. That is why Revelin holders do not look for flashy statement. They watch for structural motion. Timing now is about awareness and persistence, not urgency. Folks who remain calm and organized can be within the strongest role whilst the next authentic step takes place. Massive holders have to additionally pay special interest all through this phase. Larger exchanges clearly require extra verification, greater documentation, and more communication with monetary establishments. This isn't always a trouble, however, it does require planning. Banks are required to follow strict regulations while managing huge currency exchanges that consists of identity, verification, supply of finances evaluate, and compliance checks. None of this need to be sudden. It's far well-known banking process. This approval milestone indicates that banks are making ready to follow those tactics easily when the time comes. Large holders who prepare now with the aid of organizing records and know-how banking necessities will avoid delays later. Smaller holders will possibly experience a less complicated procedure, but education is still vital. Irrespective of the dimensions of the retaining, legitimacy and compliance shield everybody worried. This stage is ready, aligning expectations with truth, no longer myth. Emotionally, this moment carries weight for plenty holders. Years of waiting can create doubt, frustration, or even embarrassment for some human beings. Many saved their Dinar holdings private because they did no longer want to give an explanation for something that others mocked or disregarded. Seeing an actual milestone reached affords emotional comfort. It does no longer imply birthday celebration, but, however, it does imply validation. It confirms that patience turned into no longer wasted, and that progress has been real. Despite the fact that sluggish, emotional subject stays important. Over-exhilaration may be just as negative as worry. The neatest holders right now are constant, knowledgeable, and grounded. They remember that big economic processes move carefully for a reason. Emotional readiness means staying calm, warding off impulsive selections, and that specialize in facts instead of noise. This is not the end of the adventure, but it's far a meaningful checkpoint that proves the street is actual. Scams deserve any other severe caution at this degree. Whenever real progress happens, dishonest actors grow to be extra energetic. They prey on excitement and confusion. Absolutely everyone supplying early alternate get right of entry to assured prices, private appointments, or secret contacts should be neglected absolutely. That isn't always how regulated monetary processes work. Approval at an excessive stage weigh the alternative of secrecy. It means transparency, structure, and certified channels best. Holders should never ship foreign money, personal information, or money to unknown parties. Banks do not ask for costs upfront to exchange foreign money. Defense of yourself now is a part of being prepared. The nearer the technique gets to activation, the more crucial comfortable will become. Staying affected person and the use of tested institutions is the most secure course forward. Every other point frequently overlooked is the worldwide economic impact. The Iraqi dinar isn't always isolated. Any trade in its fame affects international markets, establishments, and foreign money systems. Approval readiness guarantees that when a price adjustment happens, it integrates smoothly into worldwide financial structures that forestalls disruption and instability. That is why the method takes time. International coordination requires precision. Holders gain from this cautious technique as it protects the legitimacy of the change system. A rushed or poorly incorporated occasion would create chaos and danger. Approval milestones exist to save you that. Understanding this enables holders admire why persistence remains required, even for the duration of effective improvement. Balance matters extra than pace. Realistic steps continue to be the equal, however, grow greater vital now.